Hey guys, Michael Ketchen here with another episode of the Michael Ketchen Show. Joined as always by Matthew Hitchcock.
How we doing?
How we doing? And Mr. Tyler Haugh, one of our buddies, our brokers, and a standard member. Got a lot of hats to wear there, buddy.
I know.
Hunter by day, broker by night.
Yeah.
No.
We've known Tyler for like 3 years or so now? 4?
I think 3 or 4.
Probably
I think
3
so.
because I've only had a license for 3.5.
Yeah, I'm sure that wouldn't stop you. No,
Hustling no matter what.
No, this was gonna be a fun one. So we connected. I don't remember if it was on Facebook or somewhere, but
Yeah.
we've done a lot of transactions. We thought it'd be a great episode to bring to everyone where you're an active broker who works with a lot of investors. You're an investor yourself, business owner, but also we use you. You know, we use Tyler in our own business. Tyler has bought and sold millions of dollars worth of real estate for us at this point across New Hampshire. And it's great. And we haven't had anybody that we've transacted with. So we can also tell the story, tell a little bit of the business. But I think we have to start with kind of the crazy story of how you got in to real estate being a broker, because COVID played a role.
It was rough, yeah. So we owned, my wife and I, gym in New Hampshire down in Seabrook. We did high-end sports performance athletes. We did like all the D1 kids, the local high schools. COVID hit. I ended up opening a second location January 1st, 2020. And that was a nightmare. We were billed out for maybe a month, and then by the time we opened, everything shut down. So I was like, oh man, how's this gonna play out? And we had a couple of our own buildings. We got lucky. So we made it through that. We did have to close the one we just opened, and then we end up getting, I think we lost like 80% of our revenue from the other one in the next year. So we closed that. I moved to New Durham up in the Lakes region and didn't work for a year. I had worked for myself since I was 19. I was like, I don't even know what to do. I had put resumes in. They look weird because obviously they're like,
This guy took
you're your own
12 years.
boss.
Self-employed for 13
Yeah.
years, and now you're looking to go into the workforce.
My wife was like, why don't you go get your real estate license? And I'm like, yeah, I'll never pass that test. So passed the test, got in. The first deal we got was a $225,000 flip home in Peterborough, New Hampshire. And I'm like, I don't want to do residential. I just wanted to do commercial. Everybody's like, you're going to get into commercial? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get into it. And the next listing I got within like 6 months of having my license was like the biggest one in the state at like $9.5 million. It was that college campus in Stratham.
Yep.
And they were like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm knocking on the doors and God's going to open them right now. So then we did meet on Facebook. I had some off-market land up by, it's not Northgate anymore. It's
Granite Place up in Rochester. Yep.
And that's where I met Mike. He had it on a Facebook thing, and he said, hey, I'm one of the owners over here. He's like, let's chat. And then finally got a deal with them for you guys, and then it kind of just went from there.
Yeah, I think we're on transaction like 5 or 6.
It's 5 or 6 now, yeah.
Wow. But the thing is, and unpack, obviously is opportunistic. You know, you're changing. Like we talk about all the time. Like you're responsive, you're a hustler. I mean, you started to say it as a hustler mindset. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're running a gym, like that's a hustler type situation. Like you have to get customers to come in the gym and like really market yourself well. So, and you do the same thing, I think, with all of our real estate transactions as well. You're always knocking on the door, always marketing it, always talking to people.
Yeah.
Stirring up conversation. So.
I'm trying my best.
Well, no, I mean, talk about that a little bit, because I think where you stand out is, I try to explain to people, you know, you pick up the phone.
Yeah.
You're responsive. You're a problem solver, not a problem creator. As much times as sometimes I do want to fucking kill you, because anybody who's ever listed real estate knows it's always something.
Not afraid to hear the phone get hung up on you.
Yeah, no, well, no,
You can yell at me. You're not going to hurt my
Tyler, one of the
feelings.
first times, I don't know if this was our first transaction or like a later on transaction, but I think we were sitting in front of like Manchester Street and he called you. He must have not had something great to say, and you said something and you just kind of hung up on him. I was like, I don't know if we'll ever hear from Tyler again.
Oh, no, I will. No, Tyler's able to take Mike and translate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell her she's a fucking
Mike and East?
I told my wife that the other day. I'm like, she's like, so how do you, because a lot of people are like, one, you guys don't typically use a ton of brokers, right?
Yep.
Or you have a couple that you work with, and it's like nobody wants to pay broker fees. That's fine.
Yeah.
For me, right, I get that because I didn't come from this end because I wanted to. I kind of landed here, right? Out of necessity, I was like, I got to provide for my family. I got 2 kids. We got to figure this out. I've got to make myself an asset, right?
Yep.
So especially if you're going to pay me, I'm going to handle it like it's my own deal. You also can't just take what somebody said and then just pass that straight through. oh, I wouldn't piss on her if she was on fire.
Yeah.
He said he's not very happy about that, and we're gonna have to work through this in a different way. And my wife is dying. She's like, I'm like, sometimes you're just a telephone, but you got to figure out how to be the telephone that gets the deal done, right?
Yes.
That's what you got to do. So you have to show some type of value, because it's not going to take more than one deal to go super south. People aren't going to want to work with you anymore.
I think though, and I think the big thing to be with, and that's why Tyler works within our business, and it's the same pattern that we have with all the brokers that we use in preferred markets, is a sense of urgency. Like this, maybe not for everybody, but for us, we're trying to move fast. These deals are competitive. They're hard to get. Then they're hard to get over the finish line. They're hard to complete, right? And what the average person doesn't realize is, unlike a residential transaction, typical commercial transaction, any that usually goes over $1 million, which is pretty much the majority of commercial transactions, there's multiple attorneys involved. There's different levels of sophistication. The email threads are ridiculous. The title companies, the title searches, just the payoffs. It's just so many moving pieces. Plus, you have to keep the pace going.
Yeah.
Right? Because what's notorious is, as I say all the time, lawyers will lawyer up the deal. They bill by the hour. They want to make their nut. They're going to try to drag it out. So it's like having that pedal to the metal. What is maybe a tip you would give somebody who's thinking about becoming a commercial broker? Something that's really kind of served you well around keeping the flow moving.
So I think, I mean, you definitely have to do that. I am a high energy individual anyway. I just come built like that. I'm usually up by like 4 or 5. No alarm. I'm just used to doing that. I have my routine. I do my devotional, my coffee, I work out, and then I'm usually ripping emails by like 7 at the latest, sometimes earlier than that. I guess if you got to keep the ball rolling and you're not a high energy individual like that, you probably need to put some systems in place, right? So I had to get a TC because it was getting to be like, we have 6 deals under contract right now. They're all over $1 million. It's a lot of moving parts. And things come up. Now we need an extension. Now we need this. Somebody lost this paper. So you do, I think, have to, at some point, you can be as high energy as you want. I'm also really good with systems and staying, keeping things clean. But if you don't have that on your own, you do probably need to put some systems in place, whether it be a team or something like that, to keep it going, be able to field
you mentioned
those
the
calls.
TC. Yeah, tell the people, because that person knows what TC is, and I agree.
Yeah, transaction coordinator. So Wendy can help with collecting any DD items. Like I was just talking to her before this. She's like, hey, this deal we're going to close Friday. We have everything except, the EMD receipt. And I was like, perfect. Call other agent, get it done. So she can handle everything on that end and take all of that off my plate, so I can specifically focus on finding deals, servicing the client, and closing the deals. Those are the 3 main things that I need to do and focus on myself to kind of keep going, because even to find these deals, because we do so much off market, it's like they're not easy to find. Everybody thinks, oh, we have a standard event. Literally the last one, guy comes up, he goes, are you Tyler? I'm like, I am Tyler. He's like, I was told I need to talk to you. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm some like mythical creature that's holding all these pocket listings, man. I just
fucking Bell Rock.
burn deals left and right. Bill and Bob Murray. Bob's always like, hey, where's the next deal? I'm like, I don't have anything worth looking at. So we
Shout out
look
to
at
Bob the Bulldog.
Yeah, Bob and Bulldog.
Well, I think that's a credit to you too, though. You're not bullshitting people, being like, "Oh, well, yeah, I got something," even though it's like doesn't fit their wheelhouse.
No.
Like you're not trying to just like fit a square peg in a round hole.
Maybe that's the other piece as well. Is like I am super transparent. I'm not looking to waste anybody's time, especially Mike Ketchen. You catch him on the bad day wasting his time, you better be ready to take a couple of those, because it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I
am not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah.
That is
well,
true.
I come from a background like that anyway. It's just like, dude, you're not gonna hurt my feelings. I don't care. I get it. It's heated. It's emotional. These are larger deals. It happens like that. I don't care.
I think, though, also, to Matt's point, and again, this is something to be with if you're hearing this, if you're a real estate investor. And we talk about this, and I feel like people, I don't know if they don't believe us or they don't understand it. It's like Tyler knows our buy box. Tyler knows if I go to Mike and Matt and Hannah, it's going to check this box. Here's what it is. He's not bringing us stuff. Like, it's funny, like you brought up Bill and Bob Murray of KB4. Shout out to those guys. We all love those guys. They're following kind of the playbook we went, right?
Yeah.
So they're buying the small stuff that we were buying 4 or 5 years ago. We're not doing that in New Hampshire now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really care. I mean, if it's a smoking deal on a 6 unit, yeah, sure, call me. Probably end up assigning it or wholesaling it, right? And that's one thing you've done a really good job at, of being like, okay, this is how it goes. I'm like, I'll straight up give you credit. One of our best deals, it's going to go down as one of the best we've ever done. 38 unit in Somersworth, right? We got it from Tyler. So basically, Tyler had a relationship with the seller where they were doing another transaction together, and we actually weren't even the highest bid because they trusted Tyler so much and because they had that relationship and that transaction going on. They were like, all right, these guys are going to do what they say they're going to do. You're vouching for them. And we did. We had an amazing transaction.
That was probably the smoothest one we've ever done.
Oh, my God.
That was definitely by far the smoothest
Yeah,
one.
they were
More of
easy
those,
sellers.
please.
They were easy sellers. You know, we were easy buyers. And, you know, and that's one thing that, like I say it all the time, we're really good buyers. We're not the greatest sellers because we expect everyone to operate the way we do.
Yeah.
How do you navigate all the different investor profiles?
You definitely have to keep up with people, right? So reach out, touch base. So perfect example, I'm constantly trying to stay in contact, whether it's just a, hey, what's going on? What are you looking at? Is anything changed in the buy box? And I update my records. So I have a list, a full spreadsheet of every investor that I work with and what their exact buy box is. The ones that I'm actively working with all the time, I reach out to them and I refine it every time. So perfect example is these other guys, we're doing a deal now. They only were interested in existing multifamily A and B, that's it. Okay, well, I had this other deal. It was an industrial building. They were like, called me up, hey, what do you got going on? I'm like, oh, nothing you'd be interested in. They're like, well, we'll get a little creative, anything good. And I said, this is a good deal on this building. You could probably burr it out. They bought it. We're good to go. They were like, hey, you know what? We can learn a new asset class. The multifamily market up here is tight. It just is.
Yes.
To say the
So,
least.
and I tell people that when they're always like, oh yeah, we need, burr stuff, burr this, burr that. And I'm like, dude, good luck. Like,
I wonder who's leading that
I only
charge.
get a couple of those a year. And I know when you guys were doing this, it was probably a little different market. I try to tell people that. I'm like, Matt, and Hannah are the kings of this.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you started doing it, what was it, 2016 or
2017.
it was a little bit different market maybe back then, and things have went to the moon. And I'm like,
Let's go deeper on that though, because that's actually a great conversation. See, I don't necessarily agree with it. I think the biggest shift that's happened, and maybe you can feel free to challenge me on this, but maybe it's also the way it's approaching it. When we first started buying, we were buying deals that a lot of the existing building could be burned. It just, you needed to raise the rents, clean the units, very straight path. What we have said over the last 3 to 4 years, and I believe this in my heart, BRRRR deals are not found, they are made. You know, and I've talked about, so like in New Hampshire, like what I keep hammering everybody on, I feel like I'm like screaming it from the mountaintop and no one is listening. I would buy a single family and with the new ADU and DADU, accessory dwelling unit, detached accessory dwelling unit, and you could add another 2 units on it. Guess what? You've got a BRRRR, right? I would buy a mixed use building, clean up the commercial space, raise the rents. You've got a BRRRR.
Yep.
People get in this mindset like I must do this one thing. No. All a BRRRR really stands for is finding an inefficient asset and making it more efficient. And you've heard my spiel. And I say this, and guys are like, well, no. It's like, yeah, okay, we got a 13 unit on Pine Street for $815 or whatever it is. We had to clean up all the units. We had to raise all the rents. Well, now the BRRRRs we've done with you lately, let's think about those. We've done a 38 unit that was very similar on the operations side. The guys were not hands-on operators. They didn't know the market. But we're also looking at adding additional units to that lot. We did a 12 unit that we converted to a 14 unit.
and sold it.
We raised the rents, we fixed the units, but we also added 2 more units. You're making 55 Manchester Street, right? I've talked about this. You guys want to know a real deal? We bought it, we walked it. Everyone thought we were nuts. We walked it on market. It was 8 unfinished units upstairs and 1 big commercial space with the materials included. Everyone thought we were buying a 9 unit. They're like, these guys are nuts. Why are they paying that for a 9 unit? They didn't know we gambled with the Invest in H grant. Shout out to them. We could convert it to 13 residential units. We did. We made a deal. So that's the big takeaway. And that's what I don't think people quite understand.
That I agree with you on what you said. And I have been wild blessed to have worked with you guys as much as I have, because people pay you a ton of money to coach with you and do that. I have got paid. You have paid me to do deals with you, and I got to sit here and learn.
Well,
so
Tyler's now fired. So huge invoice coming. Huge invoice coming.
Well, if I didn't learn anything, I would say that was wasted, right? But I try to get as creative as possible. So like, I do think people have a hard time getting as creative as you guys get. Like perfect example, right, is like the House bill. It's like 631 that just passed. Is this why you guys are going a little more ground up now in New Hampshire? So it's like basically there is a, I'm gonna butcher it a little bit. Basically, you can take in New Hampshire any commercial land, and the city has to. The city basically has to tell you why commercially zoned land is unfit to be residential now. So they almost have to. The city has to work with you to build new residential units there. So whether it's mixed use or however they're gonna play this, I think it goes into effect maybe July 26. But like that's a new avenue, right? So if you see that's already passed and it goes into effect the 26th based on the city and what they're going to put as far as parameters around this, that okay, there needs to be city water and sewer or whatever, you could go scoop up commercial land.
I got it right here. You want me to go through it? So it says, chat, thank you, my executive assistant, ChatGPT. By right development, any lot or parcel zoned for commercial, office, retail, or parking must allow multifamily of 5 units or mixed-use residential limited commercial development by right.
Yes.
No special permits, variances, or hearings beyond normal site plan review. So to your point, yes, back to making deals, we're also seeing a market in New Hampshire and a metric, if you're a real estate investor, a metric that you should be thinking about for value that when money was cheap, no one was really thinking about it. Now you really should be, just where we're at in the market, is you can value a building by the income approach, which is a cap rate NOI. You can value it by a comps approach, which means what similar buildings are trading at. But the third one that goes with market specific is replacement cost. And what that means is, what are you buying a building at compared to what it would cost to build that same building new? And what's happened in New Hampshire is a lot of the older inventory has caught up to the replacement cost. I'm not saying dollar for dollar. So for anybody who's in the chat, building A-class apartment buildings that are brand fucking new, like pipe down, we get it, okay? But a C-class building trading at or near 200 a door or above, and you can deliver a brand new product for 250 a door.
Yeah.
You are better with all day, every day, but it's a different kind of asset class. Right. So what we've identified as an opportunity is, okay, it might be time to pivot, go vertical, and hold those kind of legacy assets. And beyond that one, that's great. But also the tax bill, the opportunity zones are back. Opportunity zones 2.0 are going to be back. We can explain those on a later podcast. The way construction financing is back. There's so many things pushing you towards that. Like, the nation is really trying to solve this housing crisis. So your job as an investor is to be proactive. And that's what I keep screaming. And I tell everybody, oh, it's easy now. You guys, got hundreds of $millions worth of real estate and blah, blah, blah. We didn't have that when we started. And I tell everybody what I would do if I was starting again today is what I just fucking said. I would figure out how, listen, if you can't find 3.5% down, you got bigger issues in your life. You need to get your shit in order. You need to get your budget right, look at who you're hanging out with, and go hustle. Don't be allergic to working 2 jobs. You sound like a victim. But my point is, if you fix that out and you get that done, and then you can start to hustle. Everybody's just sitting back waiting, for it to happen. No, you got to go make it happen. And that's how I would do a bird deal today, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I can ask you a question. We haven't had anybody on. What is it like doing a transaction with Commonwealth Collective compared to, say, like a KB4?
I was going to say.
Oh.
Let's bust their balls a little bit.
All right. So
who are the best clients?
There's a lot less.
There's only one answer for the best.
There's a lot less Mike Ketchen in the KB4 deal.
We love you, Bill and Bob.
You're dealing with a bald guy over there too.
They're great. We did 2 deals this year already. I think the one in Claremont, they are gonna burr. Both off market, and I sent them a couple other things. We just haven't landed another one yet. So it's very similar. It literally is. And I have talked to like Keith Monty about this. I'm like, they're Mike like a couple years ago. Like, it's the same model, it's the same everything. And I know that they even, like, we had a deal we were looking at the other week, the Manchester portfolio, and I know Bill was on the phone with you because I'm like, hey, maybe we do it like this, maybe we do it like this. So it is awesome that you get to still coach them through it, because I still see it's run almost identical. Like, they do a very good job. They're super on it. They get things done. You guys have a larger team. I guess the process is almost the same, except your attorneys are different. You have a much larger team. There's more attorneys in your deals. There's a little more complexity in some of the pieces that you guys, because you have so many pieces, but very similar process.
That was very politically stated. That was a very good answer.
Most of your clients too, are they generally like full-time real estate investors, or do you work with some people that may still have a W-2 and they're kind of doing it a little bit as a side hustle type?
Yep, I still do some W-2 stuff. I say the biggest thing for me is if you're not, and I don't want this to come off like the wrong way, but if you're not buying things big enough, I can't spend the time with them because it takes just as much time to run these other deals. So I want to say like $1 million is the bottom that we hit anymore. It's not. We did a gas station at 600. We're doing another one at 900. It's a freestanding retail. It's not that we don't. It's just that most of these transactions, I think the typical one this year is maybe like 2.5 or 3. So I'm happy to work with anybody, but I also, if it's something you're looking for that is going to be very hard to find, I'll just tell you right up front. I'm not going to waste your time. I don't want my time wasted.
Yeah.
But no, I'm happy to work with anybody as long as they can handle business and just get the deals done. If you just want to shop around and you're not an action taker.
So would you say it's having a clearly defined buy box?
Yeah. And not being scared to take a shot at it. When you see something, you got to go. Like Bill and Bob. When we see something, the offer's in now. When you guys, if you see something you like, it offers in now. Those are my typical clients, not the people who want to tiptoe around and, maybe we'll wait for the next one.
Sure.
Why?
And that's what, if you guys, to recap, right? Have a very clear buy box. Be professional, respectful of the broker's time. That's just a big pet peeve of mine. It's like, don't be a tire kicker to be a tire kicker. This is a transaction that people feed their families. And you'll gain that reputation, right? And then the agents that will start working with you and the brokers that will start working with you, they're not the ones you want to be working with because they're in the same boat. So now you've got 2 shitty people on a transaction, and that's not good for anybody. I also would say the biggest thing that helps dealing with a broker after the buy box is making sure your information and the package you're giving is as clear as possible. I can tell you, like, one thing we've struggled with lately is we changed bookkeepers twice this year and property management software. It makes it a nightmare because the way you present that information, that is the Bible the broker's going to refer to. You get a good commercial transaction. This is not like residential. These guys are calling you to be like, there was this much at the open house. Like, we're not doing that. They have a process they run, right? Because they know who can buy a building that size, where they're going to find the equity, where they're going to find the source. We started requiring with Tyler, one of the things that we did, hey, I want to know who they're using for the debt. Because we know a lot of people, movers and shakers in the space. Now I want to make sure these people can actually close, right? Because if they're bringing a credit union on a deal that might not be in a market that credit union services, we're wasting everyone's time, right? Where's their equity? Where's their debt? We want to know those things. So that's kind of a good recap. Where can people get a hold of you to work with the mythical creature?
The mythical creature that is I would say cell phone's probably the easiest. I'm just going to put it out there.
Oh, we're doing one of these. I feel
wanna
so
do it, go
old
for
school
it.
and TV infomercial when we do this.
Haught
Oh my God.
Properties on Instagram.
There you go.
Let's start there.
Oh my
Let's
God.
go there.
These fucking agents come on here.
I think the phone number is like, because that's just going out into the ether.
I
So
know.
everybody is.
That was probably a
Everybody's
bad
going to
one.
start hitting you up. All those W-2 employees
People
are going
do
to
it
start
all
calling
the
you.
time. Haught Properties
Change
on
my number
Instagram.
from an Ohio
go
number.
From there. Well, dude, also, just real quick, I want to get into one thing before we get you out of here because I think it's important. You're a standard member. You're one of the founding members. What has being part of a community like that done for you and your business? And you as an individual?
Yeah. It has been awesome. So especially, I live nowhere near where I do business. We don't do commercial real estate in the Lakes region like ever. We did one gas station up there. Other than that, everybody down here, this is, more in the markets people want to be in. You're meeting new people here. Because this is a paid membership, I think you're meeting a lot higher quality
why
people
kickers
here.
aren't out as much.
Yeah. If they don't think that they see the value in it, they're kind of crazy. So like Bill and Bob, I met them here. I had heard about them forever. I met them here. We've done 2 deals this year. Reber, I met him here. We're looking at an offer on a deal this week, and then we're looking at some other deals. Obviously, I knew you guys already. We've done deals. I've met other lenders in here that we've done deals with, like this hard money guy in PA where, the network that I've gotten from this, it has just made me better at what I'm doing.
Yep.
Because now we needed hard money to close a deal this Friday. I didn't have one person. I had 8.
Yeah, he had
So
network to go to,
yeah, so we got it done quick, and everybody that's here, or at least the contacts I'm getting from this room, whether it's directly from the room or somebody they know, these people move. These people move at a clip and they're going. So I would say it made me better at my job, and it definitely brings in more opportunities that are probably a little bit better quality than just your typical, hey, let's meet at a coffee shop.
Yeah, let's go to the
'cause
New
I saw you
Hampshire
on a
RIA
Facebook
and
group."
have
Yeah.
80% of
Yeah.
people haven't done. And you always have to start somewhere. But the whole point of building that community up is so you're in the room with people that are actually taking action and making it happen.
Yeah.
All right. He's Tyler Haugh. He's Matthew Hitchcock. I'm Michael Ketchen. And as always, bet on yourself.